One, two, three. I am a guy from a place, Charm City, Marquise the Vandal. Marquise is the name my mama gave me. I am sitting here thinking about a question that I received. How do you do yoga and profess to be a Christian? And it's something that I've sat with in different ways. Initially, it's like, ugh, like, don't talk about me, don't judge me. Then the other part is like, why would you ask something like that? But I have thought about this. How do you go to a bar and profess to be a Christian? How do you skip the Sabbath and profess to be a Christian? How do you acknowledge and observe certain holidays that are pagan and profess to be a Christian? How do you take advice from spiritual leaders outside of Christianity and profess to be a Christian? How do you do anything in the world that doesn't pertain to the strict guidelines of Christianity and profess to be a Christian? The things we do are not what create our faith in God, our love for Jesus Christ. Now, this is something I'm venturing into on my own. This is not something that I'm expecting of anybody else. I'm not telling everybody to go to do yoga. I'll tell you this much. I had a mental health episode. They thought I would be schizophrenic for the rest of my life in 2016. When I was in that space, two things came to me. Do some push-ups, read the 23rd Psalm, and listen to these doctors and what they tell you. This is just the spirit that I felt with me as I went through this experience. Family looked at me like I was crazy. I wasn't able to tell friends because I didn't know how to explain it. Life completely shifted. I was given the grace to reinvent myself. I was given the grace to live out a different story after that experience. I was blessed to be able to teach in a school that's directly next to a church. I was blessed to be able to work in a library that I have visited all my life as a kid and help out in their tech department without having any certificates or bachelor's degree. I'm sharing the position that I had with people who had bachelor's degrees or were aspiring to bachelor's degrees. But I was so qualified for these positions. I found yoga because a mentor who had cancer and beat her cancer practicing this ancient art told me, as I was teaching in a school that I would not be teaching in if my story went any other way, that I would not be teaching in if it wasn't for leaning on understanding greater than my own. I am not perfect, and I've yet to meet a man, woman, or child who is. So in that, I say, I profess to be a Christian because of everything I do beyond the things that are shown. I profess to be a Christian because of the testimony that I have within me. I don't profess to be a Christian because of what the world has come to accept or what the world understands. Within my journey, I recognized I feel better feeling or knowing that God accepts me for who I am, not what I do, than this belief that the world has to accept who I am, what I do. The world doesn't have to confirm my Christian belief. They don't have to confirm any of my beliefs. He's responsible for that. He's responsible for me still being here. If you saw who I was in 2016, the start of 2016, you wouldn't see this person standing, speaking before you. You wouldn't. Because the people that saw me then didn't see this person. And they still don't believe I'm this person. I'll tell people about the things I do, and they're like, oh, that's nice. I literally have a poem that says, I see way more in darkness, struggles, pains, and hardships, to know the peaks and valleys, the makings of this artist. Without a proof of concept, they just won't believe. And when the proof comes out, they still won't buy the dream until a brighter light shines. But you knew the truth in the dark. They're using their minds. They're not using their hearts. No matter who you are, you must know you matter in both the praise of their cheers and the rebuke of their chatter. That is to say, I don't expect them to understand. I don't believe in God because I wanted understanding. I believe in God. I believe in God because I wanted understanding. I believe in God because I wanted wisdom. I sought wisdom. But I didn't expect to get that understanding from man and woman and child. That's what's so beyond me. Your spiritual journey is not for you to brag about. It's not for you to belittle somebody else's experience or put your experience above others in a way where it's like, oh, I'm above that. I'm blessed and graced to not have to do certain things. I don't know what I am above. I'm level, baby. That's what the practice told me. The practice connected me with this thing in my chest. And sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it still don't. Sometimes it has some moments. And it hurts for different reasons. I've taken losses in my life that I don't share with everybody. I share it with those who can understand and empathize and who may need it in their journey. But this month will make a year since my stepmother passed. And I say mother, I say step to acknowledge that I still have a mother on this earth. But my mother passed. She entered my life when I was 14. She entered my life when I was entering high school. That's the impact. That's mama, right? I saw the way that she loved my father. And her love for my father trickled down to us. And she loved us like we were her own, because we were. So I just think about these different things that people will never have an understanding for. They don't have time to even watch this video. It is what it is. But I give that to anybody. You don't need understanding from people who don't want to understand. And the other thing is, I don't want anything from somebody who doesn't give it to themselves correctly. I don't want love from somebody whose idea of love is a fake martyrdom. Because it's like, oh, I'm self-sacrificing. For what? To what end? You're self-sacrificing to say you're self-sacrificing. You're Christian to say you're Christian. You're this label to make yourself separate rather than to unify with truth and understanding. Yoga gave me more clarity and more patience for stupidity. Yoga gave me the ability to clear my mind and read his word. Yoga made me make time for God. But yoga is not God. I don't worship yoga. I use yoga like the tool it is. I cannot shame a man for the tools he finds on his journey. Some men find tools that allow them to express themselves and elevate their spiritual understanding. They may use battle rap to honor the Father. I don't know what it looks like because it's not my experience. But if it is honoring Jesus Christ, if it's honoring truth to power, if it's enlightening the masses, if it's impacting lives positively and nobody's being harmed, nothing's done in secret that will ravish communities later, they're not sowing seeds of destruction, I got no issue with it. I don't honor darkness. And I see a lot of people who make more space for their darkness than they're willing to acknowledge. They make space for their darkness by denying that they have it. Avoidance is making space for something. The things you avoid are the things you keep the most space for. Have you missed this concept in your journey? The conversations that we aren't having. That's why I'm having this one. I've used yoga as a tool to gain clarity and understanding for people that I didn't have the patience for. I didn't have the patience to talk to a Christian. I didn't like it. I didn't like hypocrisy. I didn't like contradictions. But then I was able to recognize the hypocrisies and contradictions within myself. I was talking so righteously against the book I had not took the time to read. I had understandings for things I had not studied. And I would argue them. I would die on those swords. Oh, because you can't. Well, how could I? How dare I? How dare I question God and I haven't taken the time to study who he's been in the lives of people before me? Not only historically, but in my direct family. How dare I? I just sit with it. It's cute. It's cute. At best. It's average at best. I hit my head. But say, I laugh. May you find tools to serve the highest in a way that pleases him and elevates the generations that come after you. In this journey, you are not beholden to whether or not they understand you. You are not in need of their understanding, because we lean not into thine own understanding. And that own includes the world. The world doesn't have the greatest understanding. This is the same world who thought slavery was necessary. This is the same world who allowed Hitler to rule Germany up until a point. This is the same world that allows things to take place in it, in this moment, that do not align with the values I live with. Slavery hasn't ended. On the continent, there are mineral-rich spaces that are being ravished in this moment, and the people working in those spaces are enslaved. In this space, in this country, in North America, slavery is still existing. There are men in correctional facilities across the nation working for 13 cents an hour because of laws in the books. Does God approve? So if I have to sit around and think about if God approves whether or not I can do these yoga poses, this breath work, and these mindfulness practices to speak to you as clear as I do, I'll lose my mind again. Oh, what do I do? How do I show up for these people who don't show up for me? I met God in the gutter. It's not a statement of, I know God more than you. It's a statement to say, I met God in the places that y'all don't venture to. I met God in the places that y'all don't approve of. I've gone to strip clubs. I've gone to strip clubs on Sundays. And not for the reasons you would expect. They had open mics at a strip club one time. My cousin invited me to an open mic. I went to an open mic at a strip club. Right? I've been to the trap. I'm from Baltimore. I've been in trap houses. Like, this ain't it. I've been in spaces. But it didn't make me any better or less than. It's just another part of the experience. Another thing to add to the understanding. I've been blessed. A lot of us are blessed. And what's so unfortunate is that we spend so much time trying to prove we know God that we don't take the time to show how he's delivered us. We don't take the time to honor him. And we don't always take the time to genuinely just love him and love his creations. We're all the creation of God. Everything he created doesn't want to serve him, but we're all creations. Think about a little parental relationship. There's people who have parents that they don't talk to. Their parents brought them to the world. Their parents gave them a leg up, and these children, and I don't care about them. I don't think about them. But it happens, all right? It is a funny concept to think about people being created by something greater than themselves and wasting time worshiping things he created. There's people who worship other people. There's people who worship the moon, the stars, and the cards, and again, it's not to belittle. It's just to ask more questions about these things you're doing. Ask more questions about what you do rather than what others do. Because I've already asked myself the question. I sit around with the question, why do I do yoga? What do I gain from yoga? I gain clarity to show up better in community. I gain understanding for people who ask me dumb questions. I gain the ability to make this video and not think about who's watching it. I gain the ability to feel whole and comfortable and loved in spaces that don't have anything for me. I gain the ability to just have gratitude for the nothings of life. The things that are considered nothing, and the spaces that literally have nothing in them. You can put me in a room with all white walls and I'll find joy. Because I got these posters with me. And I got these songs that I still remember. And I'll just wait until I get to leave. And if I don't get a chance to leave, I mean, hey, 'tis life. There have been worse experiences than that one. And what's the need for comparison? More questions. But as I said, stay blessed, man. Once we think we know there's no new place to go, we'll be saying what it is, no matter what we're shown. How can we grow if we're stubborn and we're closed and we put our ego first? What life will show is you can never know enough. You'll never know it all. And in the grandest scheme, our part is very small. So every day you wake, be grateful you're involved in the lovely book of life until the day our time is called. Stay blessed, stay beautiful. One day made better, as many days made greater. I'm uplifting you to be in a world that cares. If I keep it to myself, I think that's unfair. The joys we are given are best when shared. Visionaries never die. Legends survive. Through the seeds we sow daily, we get better with time. Built in private, blessed in public. Whether they like it or love it, the process is trusted. Stay positive. Peace.